Good morning, Mrs. Russell, Dr. Burgess, Ms. Parmalee, guests, and of course the PLC Sydney community. 2023 has been a big year. PLC turned 135 years old. Taylor Swift went on tour and the Matildas became national heroes. And Australia had a messy referendum, and wars continued and escalated around the globe. Twitter became X, and despite the new name, the hate speech remains. We've seen that in 2023, more than ever, humanity seems to be deeply divided. As X, just one of many examples, makes abundantly clear, it's through words of anger, hatred, frustration, grief, and vengeance that we have become so separated and so disconnected from anyone that we see as different to us. Subtle or direct, labels, stigmas, and slurs ostracize, exclude, and polarize us. Because these kinds of words lead to fear, lead to hate, lead to action, lead to devastation, lead to fear, and the cycle continues. It's called the domino effect, and they're still falling, and we're still not listening to those on the other side, and we are deaf to anything that they say, and extremism is rising. This is what so many arguments look like, whether it's personal conflicts, playground politics, or actual politics. This is the world that we might inherit. This place where discourse could fall into either left or right, red or blue, black or white, right and wrong, with no space in the middle. Yet, despite my fear that we will grow up to live in such a world, as I look out and recognize so many faces in the audience, I'm reminded of the conversations that I've had with so many of you. I have time and time again been struck by the grace, humility, strength, and kindness with which you carry yourselves. It's in these experiences that, in spite of all their dangers, my faith in words, and by extension, the humans that use them, remain. Because as we've talked together, cried together, laughed together, and listened to each other, words have become a vessel for love. And that's the thing. Words, our tools, our weapons are intensely powerful. They have the potential to bruise and heal, to kill and resurrect, to mourn and celebrate, to imprison and free, to divide and unite, to hate and to love. Poet Philip Larkin's most enduring line is, "What will survive of us is love." When I read those words aloud for the first time, tears literally stung my eyes, and I was struck by the simple line that calls us, all of us, together in love. Amidst the mountain of terrifying atrocities in our world and the vitriol, the hate, and the cruelty that exists every day, Larkin's line, Larkin's words hold new urgency. I certainly don't have some neat and tidy solution to fix all the hatred in our world. I think I'd win a Nobel Peace Prize if I could do that. But if we all choose to love, choose to respect, and choose to use words and live lives characterized by what Simone Weil, a philosopher, calls our full attention, which is empathy, generosity, kindness, and genuine curiosity, I can begin to envision a very different world than the one that we seem to currently be approaching. Today, you don't have to agree with anything that I'm saying. Me, an idealistic, underqualified 17-year-old girl who has absolutely no experience outside the green gates. And in all likelihood, when you disagree with me, I truly hope that you'll talk about it after you leave the Opera House. I hope that you'll start up a discussion. I hope that you will listen, truly listen to what each one of you has to say with deep respect and full attention. I hope that that exchange of words and ideas becomes a catalyst for greater understanding and empathy. I hope that the driving, uniting force of that conversation, of that debate, of that disagreement, of that conversation, of those words is love. In his beautiful book, Love Stories, Australian author Trent Dalton writes, "Love makes you a mountaineer." PLC Sydney, let's climb the tallest, most difficult mountains together. Let's plant a flag at the peak. Let that flag, let that conversation when we get down, let those words, let that journey of love be the thing that survives of us. Because PLC students, we're young, and it is so easy to think that our voices don't matter, but they do. Because even if it's as simple as making someone smile, even if it's that small, like what Mrs. Russell said, that's a little less hatred, a little less anger, and a little less fear in the world. And that multiplies. It creates a domino effect in the other direction. And if you know me, you know I love English, so I'll end on the lines of one of the most famous lovers in history, the great Juliet from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. What she said about love struck me, and it's something that I think we all need to leave with. The more I give to thee, the more love, the more I have.